Could there be any more drama in this Vuelta? Remco Evenepoel on a rampage. Would Sepp Kuss fight back or his teammates help him? This was stage 18, the last serious mountain stage from Pola de Allande to La Cruz de Linares. Three 20 to 30 minute climbs, very steep rampas gradients in them. They do 2 reps of the Puerto de la Cruz de Linares, which is a new climb in the Asturias they're using. Really, really steep. Landa, would he try to put time into Ayuso again? Would Sepp Kuss get any help from his teammates, or would they attack him like on Anglerud the day before? That's what we would find out in this stage. And the break formation is the first big indicator of what Jumbo's intentions would be, with a big break going. Strong 1-2 with Dens in there, Remco Evenepoel, Bernard, Bernal, Caruso, and Evenepoel. And when you look at who is trying to mark this breakaway in the peloton, you can infer what Jumbo's intentions are because you cannot see them. It's Ineos blocking, it's Quickstep blocking, it's Bahrain blocking because they're happy with who's in there. Jumbo are nowhere to be seen. That means the breakaway is winning this stage. And Evenepoel had a pretty good chance, given that, Caruso is good and so is Max Poole as well, who made it for Team DSM. But if Evenepoel has the legs, he's difficult to beat on such a difficult stage. So 8 minutes it went out to, more than that before they even started the first long climb of the day, the San Lorenzo. In terms of GC, it looked like, be careful what you wish for, a dull day in that respect. And on that first climb, there was a few little testers from Caruso out of the saddle, a bit, hey, how you going? Remco thanking them for not taking away the KOM points from him. I think he mathematically secured that jersey today. In the GC group, nothing happened. There's a pretty decent valley, though, punctuated by one 3K 9% climb here, the Alto de Tenebredo, and Remco really starts to push the pace on this climb, getting rid of, I think, Aski, Dens, Bernal is already yo-yoing a little bit, as well as Orsona, Piccolo looking okay, but it's just all him. There's no real, I love to talk about tactics, and this team did that wrong, and this team did this right, but there's not really any tactics in the break today. Like, Remco just got on the front. Yeah, in theory, they could attack him in this valley before Linares, the first repetition. But if he's setting the pace on the front himself, and you also don't have teammates, like none of these guys have teammates either, there's not really much you can do on such a difficult stage. Usually, unless there's a huge numerical advantage, the strongest rider will win. And when Remco marked Kroon's attack, unlike on stage 15 where it was a bit shallower, here on 15%, 12% gradients, despite Caruso giving him a tester, he's probably going to win this stage. But the lead-outs into the base for the GC group indicated Bahrain's intentions too. Landa looking around, it's just Tiberi in front. Landa's looking for Wout Poels, the unbelievable Domestique performance yesterday, and Santiago Buitrago, who's now 10th on GC. Wondering where they are. They appear, and we're thinking, are Bahrain going to shred this? But back up the front, they also got Caruso, who's getting dropped, and he keeps fighting for the stage win, even though Remco then releases Poole, and he puts Remco like a minute into these guys in the last 4Ks of the first repetition of Linares. So, not much tension, to be honest. Like, Remco's, unless he completely blows up, is probably going to win the stage. And behind the group was still pretty big. It wasn't as thinned out as yesterday when Tiberi shredded it on the second last climb. But we get a look at the finish line. Remco goes over it the first time, and this descent was narrow, technical, twisty, partially shaded, then unshaded. Really technical descent, and so that's why Tratnik moves to the front with the 3 Jumbo leaders so they could take the descent first in the valley before they do the last repetition. Poole and Caruso don't work. That's the death knell for any chase for Remco. So he's going to run away with it for his third stage win, 99% chance. In the GC group, though, there's a team attack with Pelayo Sanchez tagging on the back of Nico Dens, who was in the breakaway, with Vlasov. UAE start chasing, I think to protect Almeida's 9th on GC, I'm not entirely sure. But they're trying to get Vlasov ahead, maybe to not lose as much time on the climb coming up. That might have been what they were doing with Dens. They've also got Oterbroeks in that group. Soler starts to climb hard with Ayuso in the wheel, but then Wout Poels says, let me have this dance. Closing down Sanchez and Vlasov. Pretty quick, smart. Santi's gone to the back of the group. Rubio's starting to drop, and everyone is isolated, except for the Jumbo-Visma 3 leaders. But is Sepp Kuss isolated? Are they going to work for him on this stage? We're about to find out, because Bahrain aren't pacing just for a hobby. They're doing it for a reason. Landa's going to try and attack Ayuso to move into 4th on GC, and he duly gives it a nudge, but Vingegaard looks around today, sees Sepp Kuss in the wheel, doesn't immediately respond to Landa, lets Ayuso do that, and that's all you need to see. From that point, it was very clear that Vingegaard and Roglic weren't going to attack Kuss, and in fact, Vingegaard was going to act as a domestique, with Pauls coming back very impressive, by the way, and Landa saying to him, actually, can you get off the front for a little bit on the radio? But yeah, Vingegaard acting as the domestique to keep it all together, to keep things under control, to maintain a steady pace. So yeah, when there's attacks, they're not snap closing to the wheel, doing a huge burst, just coming back. And Ayuso here, I think, shows Landa when he's half-wheeling him, you're not dropping me today like on Angleroo yesterday. And with those two cancelling each other out, Vingegaard's able to ride them all back in. So yeah, not much on the GC group today. Remco running away with the stage win, as I said, pointing to his head, I think saying, he just kept his head in the game. I don't know what he actually meant by that, but I can infer that after the huge disappointment of stage 13, he kept his head back in the game, dedicates the win to his wife, Umi. And yeah, in the GC group, the last K is a little bit uphill, 6.5%, 7%. They're over the worst of it, I believe, at this point, with Remco already finished 4 minutes. Ayuso gives a dig with a K to go, though. Kuss follows. Vingegaard flicks Roglic to close it. Ayuso's attacking Landa. And here you see a repeat of yesterday, but with the roles reversed. Vingegaard on the radio, I presume saying to Kuss, hey, slow down, because Kuss immediately sits back down. Vingegaard comes back to the front, sews it all together again before there's another dig from Ayuso, who was, much better today. Even gapped Landa at the finish. Kuss was looking good too in the wheel of Ayuso. Roglic coming back to them, but only a 3-second gap from Ayuso to Landa. Vingegaard actually lost, I think, 9 seconds on the road after the lead out or the keeping the group together duties, but Remco wins the stage 4 minutes 44 ahead of Kuss. I do wonder if he could have waited as a satellite rider. Then Krohn, Poulos, Alain Bernard, and then the GC Group 9:29 back. Here's what Remco had to say after the stage.
After my off day in Formigal and Tourmalet, I think I just had to turn the page and go for the stages. And I think I won 3 of the most beautiful stages from this Vuelta. So and I take the mountain jersey. So I think it's. It has been an amazing Vuelta, even though the GC plan didn't work out, but I think we can be very proud.
In terms of GC, Kuss keeps his hands on that red jersey. In fact, he extends his gap to Vingegaard now to double digits. He'll be feeling practically cozy, but there's no changes in the order of the top 10. Ayuso takes 3 seconds on Landa, but no changes in the top 10. Everyone's in their place unless there's chaos on stage 20. I can't wait for that stage, or Jumbo shut it down. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you with a recap of the race tomorrow. Ciao.